One can say animation comes in all shapes and sizes. But what do you call an animation that's done by the Philippines? Is it anime or is it animation? Well, that's some Cajun. But what we're going to review today, currently streaming on Netflix, Trese. How would you call this? Will it be anime or animation?
I mean, the creators themselves consider it anime. It's arguably an anime because now there's anime in Korea, a Chinese animation studio.
But the thing originally, anime was animation done and from Japan.
Correct. That's the
So I mean, that's
nickname that was associated and created by anime.
right.
But like that's the same argument. Like, is Avatar: The Last Airbender anime?
No, it's animation.
There are people who are adamant that Avatar would count as anime.
But no, but anime is animation from Japan. Now there's a type. Now we gotta find out. I mean, for those listening or watching, they can let us know. But what is called animation in from China, from Korea? I know they'll do a Korea anime. They'll say it like that, or Chinese.
Yeah, I think they have like
You know,
technical names, but like
is this Filipino anime then?
I would call it Filipino anime. Heavily into the culture of the Philippines, from what I understand. Uh,
There you have it. That's it.
yeah,
Filipino anime.
longest intro
Welcome back.
ever.
Welcome back to the Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm Adan.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert, I had this on my queue for the longest time.
I
But
I actually think when it first came out, I think I didn't watch it right away, but I think I told you about it a while back ago.
before we get into it, let's go over real quick the cast and crew for Teresa. So we have four directors. There's eight or six episodes. Six episodes.
No, it's 6 episodes. It's pretty short.
So it's six episodes. Each episode around about 30 minutes. The last one is a bit longer to close the season.
Mhm.
But like I said, for the cast, you have four directors. You have here now. I should have no problem saying these names, but
No, you do.
Jay Oliva. Now he's done a lot of DC projects,
Yeah, I recognized him.
direct to anime features.
Mhm.
Tim Devar, Melchior Zilwa. Have no idea how to say that, but that's another director. Writing credits you have four here: Zig Madasiak, Barjet Tan, Mick Vergara, Tanya Yusan. And then you have a cast. Now the cast, big list. There's like 42 actors listed here. But let's get into them A ones.
Well, here's the thing, you could probably cut that in half because the fun fact is it was originally filmed in English, and they just redubbed it in, Filipino, and then, of course, other languages, but notable stars for dubbing for the Filipino language that they used. But go ahead.
Okay, no, because you know what? There's two voices here,
For
or
Trese.
this is for Trese, for Alexandra. Correct.
Exactly.
Then darn. So if I make a mistake on here because I may be, because some of you the English and some like you'll be like saying in the native tongue of the Philippines.
Yes,
Uh,
and they chose Filipino actors and
yeah,
actresses
not all of
for the
them, but
roles,
yes.
for a good portion.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we have here Shay Mitchell playing Alexandra Tessa, Carlos Alzacqui playing the father, Eric Boza playing Nuno, the snitch.
Yeah, the goblin version of Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah, there you go. Who loves chocolate. Steve Bloom is in
Mhm.
this. You know who he is, right?
Uh,
He
the
voiced
Datu.
yes, but he also voiced in regular stuff that he did. Like I said, Wolverine was with that. He was Zed in Rebels.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
So he done countless voice work. Matthew Young King, he was Captain Guerrero. Griffin Batul was Basilio. Darren Chris playing Marco Guerrero, as well as Lou Diamond Phillips as Mayor Sancho
Mhm.
Santa Maria, which was awesome. You have Dante Bosco, Rufio as Bagwan Kulimlim.
He was one of the twins, right?
Dude, I don't know. What were the twins' names? 'Cause all I remember them is like because the mask they wore was reminded me of like theater, comedy, and tragedy,
Mhm.
smile and frown. So I don't remember their names or use.
I forgot their names almost instantly, but I do just remember calling them the twins. I just went by nicknames, the smiley face and whatnot. But Hank was the bar owner, right? Okay.
All these names, all this stuff. So I'm trying to I won't
Put
remember. But
put
the
faces to
thing is,
names.
right. But here he goes. For Rotten Tomatoes, there's no critic score for this. And this has been out since 2021. But for the audience, it's 75%,
Yeah.
which I'm surprised that there's no critics there. But I guess anime, be it Japanese, Filipino, American, doesn't really catch us that many people's attention.
Unless it's like something like a Miyazaki joint or something like that, where it's
Well, something like
yeah,
popular, like in all platforms. But did it feel to you that you were watching a female Filipino version of Constantine?
kind of, yeah. I mean, I remember in the interview that they did because there's 6 episodes, but there is also like a behind the scenes documentary kind of thing.
Oh, I didn't see
where
that. I
there's a
missed that
it's a separate, by the way, that was weird that you have to go search for it because it's not connected to it. It's like
part. Oh,
a
really?
45-minute thing, and you would think it'd just be like, "Next episode, the behind the scenes of Trese."
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's like Trese After
Oh,
Dark or something like that. So it's all based on a comic book series.
okay.
It's a Filipino comic book. They did like the first 3 volumes, and there's like 6 volumes out right now.
So the first season was the first three.
Yeah, I wanna say or 2. 2 or 3, I'm going by memory right now. They did discuss, like, they had an interest about, like they love certain things. They loved, like, comics themselves. They has, like, stuff so they felt inspired by characters like Constantine and so forth like that.
Mhm.
I don't remember if they threw the name out there, but they did feel inspired by that, and, like, you could tell, like, the
Right.
influences of comic books and, like, this, like, supernatural thrillers that they would have been into.
Now, I also liked here where since not that many people are familiar with the Filipino culture, that they brought it in as much as they could, especially with the martial arts, with the weaponry
Yeah.
and the style they use. The Kali or Eskrima or Arnis, however you want to look at it, because there's different. There's for the stick fighting.
Mhm.
There's three names for that, and you have the Chris, you had the long sword Chris, and you had the short one that she had that was representative of her sister's soul was embedded in that. It kind of also remind me in the sense of Raya and the Last Dragon because of that culture where Raya and the Last Dragon, that Disney film, they combined like three Asian cultures to make one. Here, it was just one, of
Yeah.
course, but you have the martial arts and or similarity of the martial arts done in Raya and the Last Dragon and here. Granted, there wasn't that much action here that I would like more, but it was a mixture of martial arts. It was a mixture of thriller. It was a mixture of horror in a way, uh,
Mhm.
done in animation form. I had some trouble sometimes listening to Alexandra or Teresa because every time she spoke, she sounded a lot like Rosario Dawson. She sounded a lot like her.
So I take it you didn't watch it in the, Filipino language?
No, 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 no.
No, I watched it a little bit in the Filipino language. It actually, it sounds really good, but you could tell, in some cases that it was meant to be in English initially. I do like how they did use the language, for casting the spells.
Yes, it gave it well, even though they could have spoke in Tagalog or there's different types of Filipino languages, but it gave it some kind of authenticity to it when they went into the natural language for the spells.
Yeah, and you're right, they did have a lot of influences of the culture, the myths, the area,
Mhm.
case in point, episode 1, the introduction where the train, where it breaks down,
Yes.
I remember in the interview, they talk about that, and they said, "Yeah, the train breaks down all the time." Like, literally, just like that, like, it'll break down in the middle of the railways. So they're like, "That's a staple that everybody knows, apparently. If you're from there, you know about that." Like how,
New
like, if
York.
people, like, in New York exactly,
Yeah,
if you take the subway, certain subways, if not all, have issues, and you know
right.
which ones have the worst issues.
Correct, correct, exactly. I couldn't help again, I mean, almost every project that we review, I always go back to Star Wars, and I could not help but go there, especially when she goes into the tree.
Are we
Like
talking about with the new Star Wars or the old?
any Star Wars, just in Star Wars in general, it says like like in Empire Strikes Back that Luke goes into
The swamp?
underground, yeah, in Dagobah system, and he goes
Mhm.
into the ground where she goes into the tree to it was like her rite of passage,
Yeah, it was actually, yeah.
right?
It
And
was like a
so
trial that she had to, of
and do
self-discovery.
right, correct. And I just couldn't help but think of the similarity of that. Even though we didn't really see what happened in there, you have that comparison or
Yeah.
similarity, in my opinion. There is also and it says of Star Wars, like, I am your father. We find out that this what the father did.
Oh, I thought you were gonna talk about the big bad at the end.
Oh, at the end,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
on the end credit?
No, 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 not that one. Because yeah, okay, that's a different point. I'm talking about the god. He's like, I
Right.
will reborn this world." That because there's a lot of different parents in this story.
Yeah.
Like, there's the father that, technically is the father to the twins. Then there's the father that raised Trese. Oh, well, which arguably is Hank. That's the
Right.
adoptive father who could
Right.
be
Right.
your
Right. Yeah.
Ben Solo.
Mhm.
Not Ben Solo.
Han Solo.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Ben Kenobi,
Oh, well,
Uncle Ben,
you're right.
and then of course her blood father, who
Mhm.
made decisions and choices, which actually ended up betraying a lot of people for other reasons. Granted, it was not like Star Wars, where it was for her, but in Star Wars, he did it for Padme, right? Are those the
I see what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like,
those
well, the
aren't the
thing is, like,
connections you were getting.
no, no, but the thing is, like,
It's all in your face.
the prophecy,
Oh, there's a
right,
chosen one. It will
right,
set the
and
you
he tried to switch it up, which to me didn't make any sense. Why would you do that if you have the prophecy, but why would you take away the one that's supposed to bring balance? The dart of soul that was put into the sword was the balance. So why would you take the way there? And Tresa is the one that's supposed to bring everything down, into the dark world.
well,
He trained her to
Treste
do
was
that.
supposed to, make the choice of whether to save the world or destroy the world. The other one, I forget what she was what's her point. I know she was a balancing act, but she
Yeah,
did
she was the good one. It was like they were like representative of good and evil.
I guess
So, and though the one, so I don't get it why he didn't save the good one instead of the bad one. Maybe I'm misread that or misheard that, but that's what I thought.
maybe he
But now,
believed more nurture versus nature, and, like,
okay,
if you can turn the bad one as the one that makes the final decision, then you lock that in as a win.
right. But I like the part where in the sense like she was being duped into thinking that she didn't have a choice, but then she did
Yeah.
because she made the choice.
Mhm.
It's kinda hard not to when you're raised in a certain aspect in one way. I mean, except for Anakin, he just changed like that. But
It's true.
where when everyone else, if you're raised up a certain way, you're not gonna turn quickly to say, "Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna be evil now." No, there should be multiple things that will, like, help, break down that wall or the foundation that would
Yeah.
build up
I
to
I
a
mean,
greater
granted, there's
master.
also the flip side of it where she realizes that her entire life is a manipulation. He literally was telling her the truth. Was like, "You've been manipulated your entire life to
But
grow
did he
this way."
really did he in the sense of did he tell her the actual truth, or was he also trying to manipulate her?
You can manipulate with the truth, or you can manipulate with a lie. He clearly had a goal of what he wanted.
Yes,
Mhm.
but she was supposed to be by his side.
Kind of, yeah.
Do you have a favorite moment? Because I know 8 episodes is a
6.
lot to I'm sorry, there's 6 episodes. So, do you have a favorite moment?
I like the episode with the baby.
Oh my god, that was the eeriest one, but I like it too.
It was so eerie. I like it for a
Oh
couple
my god.
reasons. When they introduced the bartender and he's driving them, he's like,
Mhm.
No one touches baby." In his car. And then the one kid, the one of the twins breaks the handle, and that just gave me a good laugh. But that was one of the creepiest episodes for me
Yes.
because of the concept of the baby, the twist that happens with it. It just so I'm like, that's one of the darkest myth that or legends that they could come up with, and I'm like, "That's pretty twisted." I liked some of the lore, some of the other stuff. The mayor with I guess cannibalism?
Well,
Yeah,
he's not eating it. He's sacrificing himself.
his flesh to the others to
Well, I
brainwash
found
them.
it kinda weird. I found it kinda weird when they're being, like, on camera being interviewed, he has his belly all open, all bloodied, and he's I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, "He's no one's really gonna talk about that."
No one's questioning that they do.
Like, why is he bloodied all why so I know. It was just like, "Oh, another crazy dude."
Mhm. What about you?
I did I liked the one, it was just eerie. I was like, just so gross seeing the baby and then what she did, and it was a great metaphor, I guess, of vanity and materialism because she was sacrificed because her job or her career was more important, obviously.
Yeah.
It was just ugly in a sense, like the episode and how people are, and it just showed that into light. But I did like one of the first action scenes where you see Tresa using the eskrima and fighting with the sticks and stuff like that. I did enjoy.
Oh, was it the first episode with the vampires?
Yes.
Yeah, they went by a different name, but, they're clearly vampires, but, yeah, she was going to town on them, and it's her character is funny because in the sense that she reminds me of, like, Dresden, also Dresden Files, that's a geek reference right there, but basically,
Who dat?
he's like a spiritual detective, kinda like John Constantine, but, like, case in point is basically you cross the line, you can either work with her or if you don't and you cross the line, she's like, "Oh, the terms is that we have a discussion. I take your eye, that's part of my discussion."
Mhm.
She's like, "No."
No, yeah, no back.
Exactly. So, yeah, no, that was actually I kinda like the one vampire that had the top hat. It just looked cool.
Oh,
You
no,
know,
no, yeah. I mean, the animation here was done very well. I was very pleasantly surprised at how well this was done. I was great
mhm.
with the music, great with the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the voice acting was phenomenal.
I don't think the episodes were overly too long either.
No, no, they're, like, about 30 minutes. Like, the longest one was the last one.
Yeah.
The last one was, like, about 45, 47. But it was great, and I was just wondering too because on that, the last episode, it was longer, and, like, usually when on Netflix, when the credits is going and there's nothing to show, really,
Mhm.
they'll bring into, like, "Since you like this, here's our 3 other shows or movies that may be of your interest," but that didn't show up. I'm like, "What's going on?" There's like,
Well,
"Oh, they have an end credit." Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
so once that usually happens, and then I saw that. So, who do you think that girl is?
I
I think it's the sister.
well,
Reincarnated, but then becomes the evil.
remember those, old Chinese martial art films that we would see? They
Yes,
have the talisman, the paper talisman on the
yes,
head. That's what she had.
right.
So, I don't know if it's a Filipino thing or maybe it's like a crossover with, like, another culture, spirit, and, like,
Well,
they're expanding. Um,
don't forget, like, the Filipinos is a mixture of Asian and Spanish.
true, 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 true.
The Spanish came in and, invaded and did horrible things. That's why the language a lot of times is a mixture of Spanish. They have Spanish names rooted in the Filipino culture, and it's also Asian. So you have that mix. So you have that influence there as well. But I'm thinking it is the sister that someone else maybe took part of the soul and embedded into a body and created a new one.
Sure.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know the story. I've never read the comic books.
I think they
That's
have it on Kindle or, like, the Amazon.
I'm not going to read it. I'd rather watch it and see and be surprised.
Well, and that was the other thing, like, so clearly, as we were talking, like, for everybody listening, they left it with a cliffhanger, and
Well,
then
the thing is, I mean, I'm looking on IMDb, it says 2021 to it doesn't say.
yes,
Now
so
2023, now, of course, most likely COVID happened, so it shut down a lot of stuff, and now you have the writer's strike and actor's strike. The writer's strike is done, but I think the acting strike is still going on, so there's probably other hurdles that they had to go through first before this happens. Season 2 comes out.
I actually read an article where they were saying that they were planning on doing a season 2 depending on the ratings and the reviews, and apparently, like, it came out that it didn't do well enough for the ratings or, like, the amount of views that they merited as season 2, but at the same time, they never officially announced that they won't do a season 2. So it's just
Well, they can do with
it's
another
just in,
company.
like, a limbo state.
Well, they can do with another company. Like the thing with Netflix, like they notorious for canceling great shows after the first season. There have been
Yeah.
several great shows meant for multiple seasons, but after the first season, like, they just cut it. And for whatever reason, I don't know, but they just like, but then they'll keep other shows that are actually pretty much crap,
True.
but it is just horrible. I don't know. The other scene I like is when the suicide bomber comes into the bar
Oh, yeah.
and that slow motion thing where everyone's like, there's only two of them in there besides the suicide bomber, and they're all looking like slow motion, like holy crap, and the slow motion of the thumb hitting the trigger. I was thinking like someone stop. One has the power to stop it. I think that little
Mhm.
guy, the little goblin. The other guy doesn't. He can, but I was like, no one's gonna stop it. But then it blows up, and I was just some.
Yeah, but the little goblin was, like, working
Thinking,
with the big bad, so he wasn't going to stop it.
was that the one? I thought that was the other one. There was like two goblins.
Oh, was it the other one?
The one, yeah, the one looked like a mushroom.
And then there was one with the oh, yeah, that was the one with the beard, yeah. Might have been that one.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
Yeah, my bad.
Because like yeah, because the other one is just always under in the dark.
In the sewer.
Waiting. Now, is there any faux pas or anything like that you thought was like,
This is really gonna be nitpicking right here. 2 episodes that, I was not a big fan of were the racing,
oh, Fast and Furious?
the Fast and Furious. It did help expand the world.
And it showed the twins being very horny.
Technically, they were used, it was the other twins that were after them, the twin spirits. Um, and the episode with the zombies. That one just didn't actually, that's the least favorite for me, zombie episode.
Okay.
I'm really nitpicking because they were technically not that bad. It's just
Right.
of the list of them, just like they're just not my highlights. Honestly, not much I can nitpick on. Like the animation you said is good. The story is actually really cool, and the fact that it's not like okay, we're gonna go over the top with a lot of things. They kept it pretty grounded considering all it is. It's like a supernatural investigation. It's like if you've seen one supernatural show, like literally Supernatural, Dresden Files, John Constantine, any of those shows, you're in that formula. The only difference is it's animated and they you're getting a whole new list of lore characters.
And culture.
Yeah, absolutely culture. Even the city, the way they did the city is actually really cool how they designed it. I mean, if anything, I want it more. That's a negative. Like 6 episodes felt so quick and short.
Yeah.
And by the end of episode 6, and when we got that cliffhanger, I actually was like, "Yo, I could have really gone with more episodes." My average anime is like 12 episodes long. This would have been fine with me, 12 episodes.
Right. They started getting into it like within episode 3
Yeah,
a little bit.
there is a
A little
lot
bit
of
more.
flashbacks, whole lot of
Yeah.
flashbacks
I thought something was wrong with my TV for at first because it was black and white. I'm like, why is it black?
because of some of the flashbacks. Yeah, like
Well, no, because the flashbacks is setting it back into that just let us know it's a flashback. Granted, there was other ones where it's in color, so it's like, huh? Overall, it was still great. The characters are great. The twins are funny as hell. Did I say as a badass? You have the other side characters. You have the cop.
emphasis I had. His character's dead now,
Yeah, well, that's true.
and I liked him too. He was cool. He was
Yeah, I like them too. Yeah, he was like the surrogate stepfather. He was like the surrogate father in a way too. In a way, like she had a lot of father figures.
yeah.
She didn't have any mother figures. It was mainly father figures. She was surrounded by men.
Yeah, her mother died protecting her pretty much,
Right.
which was off camera, which means she may not be dead.
Oh, could that be them then? Could that be the mother on the roof?
I mean, it could be. I don't believe they ever showed her body or said that the body was
Right.
found.
No, no, she just gave her the knife and left.
Mhm.
So maybe.
I mean, people, if you've read the books, we don't mind
Oh,
spoilers.
don't. Yeah, well,
We give
uh,
spoilers out.
we give. Yeah, true. True. All right, let's go back to the Rotten Tomato score again. No critics gave it a rating at all, but 75% was given by the audience. Where do you see it?
I would dare say go higher. I'll go 88. It gave me everything that I would have wanted as far as like entertainment. I got hooked into it and I wanted more. I'm really don't have a like a nitpick. It's not something I would say like, "Oh, this is my top 5 anime to watch," but it's up there in the sense that I feel comfortable if they said, "I got new episodes," I'm gonna sit down and rewatch this.
I guess the only nitpick for me, it was like, oh, I'd like to have it more singular in a sense of what's happening because they started off strong and then they went off a little bit. Even though it's just 6 episodes, they went off a little bit, kind of like side missions.
So, like, a more linear storyline.
Yeah, yeah, because they went right back to it. Great,
Yeah.
but they started off. He's like, here it is, boom, 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 and then they went off with the lady with the baby, and then they went off with the
Well, was it episode 5 or episode 6 where the mayor's, like, explaining, like, "I needed all these parts, and you actually brought these things to me." And every single episode leading up to those final episodes was, like, literally the things that he needed.
right, maybe a better connection.
True, I mean, it's a huge, like, MacGuffin of, like, "Oh, you masterminded this?" Or these seem pretty circumstantial kinda situations.
Right, because it seemed like something that she deals with on the daily.
Mhm. But, like, somehow all this just worked out and is granted,
Right,
there is a little bit of a time skip because it felt like the mayor went to jail, like, within 5 days. No, obviously, there was some time. So maybe, like,
right.
markings of, like, timing.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that restaurant scene was gnarly, where they're feasting on the living.
Oh, in the first episode?
Yeah, that was
Yeah, yeah.
pretty gnarly. That it makes me second guess go to a Chinese restaurant. But, I love Chinese food.
Where was your rating?
Oh, I give it like an 85.
85? Okay.
I give it 85 for multiple reasons, like, I have not seen a Filipino anime before.
I don't think there is one, or if there is one, it's
There
not
has to
really
be. There's has to be. It's
yeah,
just probably not like Netflix hasn't brought it over here
yeah,
yet.
not like a major one.
Has
Yeah.
right.
But this is produced by Netflix. This is their baby, apparently.
And it is US.
Yeah.
You mean the actors are here. It's not like over, went to the Philippines and got the actors. A lot of them are right here, very well-known Filipino actors or actors who happen to be Filipino. But yeah, I give it 85 for it hit all the things. I mean, if it was a little linear, probably a little higher rating, maybe a little more action, probably give it a little more higher rating, but everything else was great. The music was great, the tempo.
Oh, before I forget, the
Oh, it
intro
was
to
great.
the show, like, that was actually really sometimes you get those openings to anime, like, they're either really fire in the sense that they have hypers, songs. This one kinda set the mood really well.
Mhm.
So on that note of music, I love the intro that they did.
The credits was nice too in the sense of, like, they do, like, a flashback of the episode.
That's true. Do.
Like, they split the screen. The top screen is the credits, the bottom screen is the anime, and they just go little flashbacks of what happened in the episode.
Mhm.
Alright, guys, that is our series or anime
It's a
alright,
series,
guys, that is also anime.
anime series.
Alright, guys, this is our anime review of Trese. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? Let us know in the description below. Also, if you have a movie or show you would like us to review, either comment below or email us at tales2bros@gmail.com. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.